Yeah.
Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. This is a well-anticipated video. And basically what's going to be happening is I'm going to be having a roundtable discussion with three people who have become very important and valuable to me. And as you guys know, I always want to be able to share that value because these are three women who together are actually going to be having such an interesting conversation right now. I can only imagine. So we'll go ahead and we will just do quick little hello. I think there we go. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Excellent. So let's figure out how to start this conversation. I haven't really done.
Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, we've been chatting about all sorts of stuff, and I think that's where the trouble's coming of me to go ahead and put my finger down on where exactly to start because there's quite a lot of stuff to speak about. But you guys all have your specific gifts and talents, and I just had it to be a good idea. Well, I thought it to be a good idea to get you guys in contact. And you guys have had time to all speak and actually meet each other physically,
Yay.
which is actually really awesome to see. So basically, you guys want to go ahead and speak about your experience of getting to know each other and sort of the overarching theme in the conversation and where it's heading within regards to the world and where it's going and all these things we've spent so much time speaking about. I think it would be really valuable to get you guys speaking about it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll let Dal start.
Yeah. So wow. Yeah. Do you know what? Meeting you girls on Saturday, it felt like I knew you. Like I've met you before. Like it was just I haven't seen you in a while. That's what it felt like to me. The energy was like I don't know. It was just really weird because I was looking for you, Sophie, because we got there, and I know you didn't know I was coming, Shannon, because I was maybe not coming. And then I found Sophie, and it was like the instant hugging. I don't know. It was just so weird. And when I met you, the same thing, the hug. It was like familiar. Like I've done this before, no problem. And it was just like, whoa, I haven't seen you in ages. And I was so excited. And then I think afterwards, it's almost like you're like, ooh, okay, we actually don't know each other. But then you just go back into it again. So it's like, yeah, it was amazing to feel.
Yeah, it was. We know each other from past lives, and I definitely do believe that we are, of the same soul family. We are from the same, spiritual family, actually, through different past lives. It was like, oh yeah, I know you. Yeah, we've met. Yeah, when was that? In that life, somewhere. It's
I had the
it's crazy.
experience with you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Just everything felt.
Yeah.
I felt really sad leaving as well.
Me too. I was like, I didn't want to leave. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was
definitely.
Yeah, it felt unfinished when we left. Like like there was loads more to come, and we just didn't have the time and the way to make this happen. Whatever has to come, we can feel this thing coming, but we just don't know how it's going to be. How are we going to put it together?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll be organizing something soon in the near future and ongoing. It's part of our mission in this life to create our spiritual, let's say, workshops, I would say.
Yeah.
We're going to do things together, all of us. We have all our own bit of ways of working and talents.
Yeah.
So we'll be all part of that mission to heal people. Yeah.
And we've all helped each other, which has been invaluable. We've all done something for each other so far. That's been invaluable. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah. Don't know when to speak.
So this is only the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's really exciting. And it just feels so ready. Like everything's ready and falling into place now for things to just start happening as it should happen.
Yeah, it's the beginning. It's the beginning of a new,
absolutely.
New thing.
I think.
Great, guys. So basically,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of people are having the same issue where with change in vibration and the constant change, we're all a bit lost. And not just us, but speaking, everybody's lost. And I think one thing that's helped from meeting you guys is understanding that we all have a role to play, each and every single one of us. I think we get so sidetracked with all the different things that need to be done, and really coming in and owning your own power, your power. This is probably the most invaluable lesson I've learned, and this is something for the public as well. You've got to understand and focus on the thing that you are good at, the thing that it's like a military operation. Really, if you think of any military operation, if you're trying to recruit people, you're going to have the military engines talking about appeal to a certain people. You're going to have the soldiers appealing to a certain group of people who want to be soldiers. And even though we're all fighting the same war, it's so important to understand that we all have our individual parts. And as long as we can own that and embrace that, we can stop feeling lost about where we need to be, I think. And that's one thing that taught me. And it's helped so much. I'm very grateful.
100%. 100%. I think the abilities, everyone realizing their abilities or realizing that they have something is giving them hope in themselves, but it's also fearful for them because it makes them feel responsible, and they're not used to that because someone's always told them what to do. So now having to make your own decisions, stand up for your own rights and be your own sovereign is scary for them. It's like a baby starting to walk, they're wobbly. And everyone's wobbly, they're getting up, but they're feeling wobbly. So it's a wobbly time.
Yeah, it is definitely for us. Like we step in our true power now.
Sorry, it seems as though Shannon's audio is a little off. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
What it's all about.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, great. Okay, excellent, guys. So basically, on the discussions you've had, what are some of the conclusions you've come to? Like, I'm sure a lot of people are sitting in quite a lot of anticipation within regards to what is happening. I mean, this seems to be quite an interesting year that's slowly playing out. And I still feel there's some big events on the way. And I think that this year will be a huge year in some respects. I've been looking at the news and everything online here and then. I've just been noticing some weird things pop up. Just some weird things, and it's almost like this whole voter fraud thing's being put back into the picture. Now, I remember having conversations with you guys about Trump and the whole situation. Where is it that you guys stand with that currently right now?
What was Trump?
It is playing out how it should be, actually, to me. But people are very impatient. The thing is, it has to play out as it has to be. People have expectations and they hold on to security, but there is no security. It's just going to happen, That's the energy of Uranus and Taurus now for a couple of years. And it takes away that stability. It's a constant, like, you can't plan anything.
Yeah.
Everything goes always different than you think it's going to be. That Taurus energy wants to hold on to security and stability and everything that is certain, but everything is uncertain, and you can't put a time on things. You can't say how it's going to happen. where Uranus messes up with everything that is steady. It gives it a good shake, a constant shake. So we really don't know how or when. So we have to have that patience to have it play out. And I do believe myself that it is like it should go. And for me, still, he's playing his role in all of this. And we, the people, have to take, like you said, Adele, our responsibility. We don't depend on anything or anybody. Everybody has to step in their own power and find the answers within, and not seek constantly to hold on to people who are going to save us, because it's not going to happen like this. We all have a role. Everybody has a role to play, even Trump.
Yeah.
So it is about taking our freedom, our rights, our responsibility on all levels, doing what is right for us, finally being the true, let's say, being in your true power, the person you always wanted to be or thought you, because the suppression and the way people have been brought up in society, like you said, Adele, it's always been under listening to something or somebody else, always depending on other people around the system, where now we have to do it. It's up to us. We have the power. We just use that little bit. People have no idea on what power we actually have, on how we create our reality, how we manifest now, because this is the time for manifestation. This is the time to create your own reality, your own life, your own wishes, your own dreams. But many people are not on that frequency, or will never be, sadly. It's only for those who are aware and awake who can make the change. And of course, there's going to be a lot of suffering, as we know, still coming. Yet the worst will come out completely different. But we are preparing, we are prepping to do what is right for us and for the people as well. That's how I see it. So yeah.
That 100%. I think that the astrology is helping. It's helping the movement move into a certain direction, but it's down to the people. At the end of the day, like you say, we can't really predict what's going to happen. I feel it's going in the right way, in the right direction, definitely. And the energy on Saturday just proved that for me. I really felt it. But at the end of the day, it is going to be the people. Last time, back to basics, back to law of attraction, of manifestation, exactly that. So what the people do now is going to dictate. Jesse, I'm back. Lindsay here. I can't hear.
So Racha,
I'm really happy to hear
your
you guys
signal's a little,
and it keeps
your signal seems to be a bit low. It seems as though the only issue we're having with the stream is coming from your feed. Is there any chance you could switch to a Wi-Fi network or a mobile network? And then, so while you switch over, Shannon, Adele, do you want to give your comments on this?
Well, yeah, you know what I've noticed, I'm busy with work, so I notice a lot of people and how they feel at the moment and things they're struggling with. And I've noticed that there's a lot of conflict between families and suffering there. I've noticed there's friendships that's failing, or they feel it's failing anyway. So I've seen that there was a lot of negativity, but when I went to the protest on Saturday, that lifted the energy so much. And I think just the fact that everyone went there, the energy that's been put out there, whether people believe the protest is going to do any good or not is irrelevant, really. Because if you think about the energy it created, of course it's relevant. It might not be relevant in the sense of that, the leaders are going to have a look at that and, oh yeah, okay, now they're going to take us seriously. In that sense, maybe it won't. But energetically, it's creating a lot of input. It's positive. It is positive, and it is they want truth. They want to know what their rights are. They want to stand up for what they want. So, and there was a lot of people. The media is trying to make out that it's really small. There was only thousands. There wasn't. There was hundreds of thousands. There was a lot of people. And
plus 1 million.
Yeah, exactly. So they didn't show that, but the feeling, and we could see it. We were there. Everywhere you look was people, and everyone with the same voice, talking the same language. Don't matter who you are, where you're from. You can be from any country in the world walking there. And it's like that in every country. So the thing is that the momentum of this energy is already picked up, and they cannot stop this. This is what I was saying from the start. They are creating or waking up the monster that they can't stop. And it's a good thing, because most people are actually loving and kind and won't hurt each other. The media has got a lot to answer for, and it will come out as time goes on. But the movement that everyone's feeling inside themselves, that's a spiritual awakening, and that they can't stop. And now it's taking momentum. We all talked about it, but it's taking momentum now. And you suffer. People have to suffer before they wake up to this reality. And once it hits, once the reality hits, which is it's gonna happen, because slowly but surely you can see little bits of news coming out that is shocking to hear, but the people have not realized what that actually means. They hear this and they go, oh, all this stuff is in question now. I don't want to mention names. And then they go, oh, so there is something. But that's where it stops, because the rest of the information is not come out. They have to wake them up slightly so that there's not a shock when they actually release that it was corruption and all sorts of stuff. So the movement is already accumulated momentum. It's running, and it's only going to create like a snowball effect, and they cannot stop this. And I don't think they really know how this is going to play out. I think they're just hoping it plays out as positively as possible.
Yeah. Do you remember they were talking about this sort of, there was a kind of project that they did. It's like looking into the future. I can't remember what's the name again of that project.
Project Looking Glass.
Yeah. Yes. And they tried different outcomes to see what would happen if they wanted to this or this or this, the evil agenda. Yeah. And every time they did it, they came out that the people will awake anyway. They will get it. They will wake up to it. I mean, there was no way of getting out of this without people waking up to the whole bullshit, you know. So at the end of the day, we know we're gonna get to the result and to the positive outcome, but it's the way we're gonna get there is very, I would say, bumpy and serious, and
yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios they've created, right? So people can see one and pick one. This is the point where we are now. We have to visualize our own want of what we need in this world. Think about our own lives. By doing that, if you put your own life into the scenario, you know what you need. Then you won't try and make something that you don't need. We need to focus on what's important to us individually. And then by everyone doing that, we create a better world. Because in the end, the real important things will be the same for everyone. Food, clothing, water, a clean world, whatever. So we have to now just focus on creating a better world in our space, you know, your own home. If we have unity and love and harmony in our homes, in our space, and we create that space, it's very difficult for someone with a negativity to come and change our reality, because it's best for us to change theirs if ours are positive. So the point is to create a healing space within our spaces. That's our responsibility now. And then once negativity comes in, it's very difficult for it to stay, because we are strong enough to stand up and work with unity and love.
Excellent. So Shannon, let's try. Have you switched over your internet connection? Are you there? Seems to be still a bit unsteady. Shannon, can you hear me?
Who?
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah. Can hear you.
Shannon, can you hear me? It seems as the connection really.
Yeah, I'm really battling to hear.
Okay. Is your internet connection?
Here.
Okay, it seems as though. Can you hear now? Okay, cool. I don't know what's happening with Shannon's connection, but it doesn't seem to be working at all. So we'll have to continue.
Starting about.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Shannon. So for now, I'll just let's see. Okay, great. So yeah, so I like what it is you guys have had to say. Sophie, in terms of astrology in this current time we're in now. Yeah, we can see and hear you, Shannon. It's just your internet connection is very spotty. You might want to just check your internet connection. So Sophie, as I was saying, yeah, I don't know that it's
the astrology on the astrology level, yeah. That was it?
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So basically now, and like this exact moment now, because as you said, something about Saturday, there being a shift. Also noticed a bit of a full moon. You know, I'm not a total expert on these things, I admit.
It's now. The full moon was last night, today. So that energy is really strong now. I could feel it over the last days, especially with the weekend. And it's full moon in Scorpio. So that will affect our deepest emotions and everything that is hidden, the emotions that we're trying to hide. You know, it's bringing actually the underworld onto the surface, because Scorpio is representing the underworld as well. Death, it's transformation, it's regeneration. It's like, you know, transformation to a new being, a new body. But it is actually as well the depth of our emotions that we try to hide. It's also the darkness, and it's the darkness that has to come to light. So every hidden emotion that you haven't dealt with yourself will now be triggered by the full moon. For some people who haven't really dealt with what they had to do, it will be harder. It will affect, you know, relationships, family. It will come up now, because if it hasn't come up before, it will. Yeah. So it's like there's no hiding anymore. It's like everything is going to come to the surface, and I can see it going. And every time we go into a new moon, so in the next 2 weeks, I think the 11th of May or something, we're going into the new moon. The new moon will be in Taurus, and that will give us a new start, a fresh start. The new moon is creating a new time. So between now and that will like try to get it sorted somehow. But it does affect all people, especially now, the emotional level. For me, it's like very significant this time. Plus, like we said, for April, when I did my first talk with you, April was going to be very significant to bring everything up to the surface. Everything is going to start to change, and nothing will be able to hide itself anymore. Hiding is not possible. It's just everything will be exposed, and that's the time we're in now, especially till beginning June, I feel. And then this summer will be really like things will get heated everywhere in the world. It's like there's no way to hide it. It has to come out. Exposure of the truth. Still, we're going to go through a very rough year for many people. Lots of people who are awake will be doing really well. Will have like the best time and like finally be who they really wanted to be. But the people who aren't, they will suffer greatly. That's how I feel. But it's going to be interesting up till the end of the summer, how things will play out, because it's like a game, you know, it's like a game of exposure and trying to suppress the ones who can't see, trying to still have the people who are not awake to a certain level to keep them in the fear zone. But people are breaking out of that fear zone, so they will have the confrontation, they will be hitting it, I haven't looked really too much into the next month on astrology level, but for me, May, June are quite significant to, let's say, get things rolling. It's starting to roll now slowly, but it's going slower to me, I feel, than people would have expected. So it's all about patience as well.
Excellent, thank you so much. So, Shannon, I think it seems as though your connection seems to be sorted out right now. Let's just do a little test. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is that fine? Do you want to... Can hear you. Okay, we'll try to do this again.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the original question that I first asked you. And that question was, with the whole year playing out and the whole America global situation, how do you see that playing out? What were your thoughts on answering when you tried to answer earlier?
Very similar to what Adele's just said, actually, or what Sophie was saying as well. It's very much to do with, even though I think, like Sophie says, the astrology is all working in our favor. I fully believe that, and that's wonderful. But I think at the end of the day, like I said in the last talk, we're back to basics now, which is law of attraction, manifestation. And I think whatever's going to happen and play out is fully dependent on us right now. I think projecting and looking at the way things are going, I feel very optimistic. I feel things are going a very good way, and Saturday just proved that for me. I mean, the energy, everything on Saturday was just so beautiful. You could really feel the power, and I know all of us were buzzing for at least 2 days after that on that energy. So there's definitely, even just on social media, speaking to people, you can tell that people are starting to question more, even if they don't believe the narrative. They definitely know that there's something not right, and they're agreeing with us on certain points. So we've got things like freedom of choice, which they're now starting to question. Well, we've had the vax, we believe in it, but we still think that there's an issue with this freedom of choice thing. Or they're questioning the COVID passports. Yeah, we've had our vaccination, but do we really need the COVID passports? So on that level, I think the movement and forward is definitely moving. But whatever the outcome's going to be is purely dependent on what we do now. And this is what I explained to you when we did the future life progression. And I said to you, the future's fluid. You can get a feel, you can get a sense of what's going to happen looking at what's happening now, but you can never know for sure, because everything we do in this moment changes the future. And honestly, I think we're going in the right direction. We're definitely moving in the right direction. You can feel it.
Excellent. And basically, to just, what is some of your advice now, particularly with people, before we go to the next question? But what is, before I ask this question to Adele and Sophie, but what is some of your advice right now in these times?
There's two things I'd like to touch on today, really, because I was thinking about this, and I thought, what advice would I give people to help the collective? And there's two things I'd like to touch on. And the first one is, as well, what I said in the talk last time. It's about healing yourself. Now, I think there's still so many of us that are living in victim mentality. Healing ourselves is ultimately going to help the collective. And there are still so many of us living in victim mentality. And something I realized with Adele in my reading with her, she really opened my eyes, because when you think about victim mentality, you think about your trauma that you've experienced, and you think, oh, if I can get over the trauma and see myself as a survivor rather than a victim, then that's getting over the victim mentality. But actually, victim mentality can be present with your upbringing, your environment. Adele pointed out to me specifically how I was hanging on to, or allowing myself to be victim of, the indoctrination of the Jehovah's Witness religion that I was in. And this was affecting me so badly, even though I wasn't outwardly saying, oh, shame, poor me, because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. It wasn't like that. But what was happening was I was not having enough faith in myself and my own personal power, because growing up with the witnesses, they taught us that you weren't allowed to be better than anybody else. So every time somebody would say to me, I've had so many people say, oh, you're so good at what you do, you've helped so much, and I'd always push it away and go, well, it's not me, it's the angels. I'm just the conduit, you know, it's them that does all the work. And what Adele had showed me was that was me still being victim in my Jehovah's Witness upbringing. And this is what I'm saying to people. It's time now to really stand and look in the mirror. Be completely honest with yourselves about where you are being victims. And like I say, it could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to just be from trauma. Look at everything. Fix that, because it's really hard to look in the mirror and admit it to yourself. If we can do that for a start, that's going to set us on a great path. And then the second point is going back to what I said earlier about the whole military analogy. In order for us to be peaceful and comfortable in promoting the greater healing of the planet, we have to stop getting so absorbed in the confusion, because everybody's confused right now. Everybody I'm speaking to, the main theme has been, I'm lost. I just feel so lost. I don't know where to go or where I belong. And this is what I'm saying. If you can fully embrace your own power and your own thing that you're good at, because that is going to appeal to a certain group of people. And this is why we have this diversity in our community, because not astrology is not going to appeal to everybody in Sophie's case, but there's going to be a huge group of people that it will appeal to, and that will help them heal. Past life work is not going to appeal to everybody, but there is that group that it will, which will help them heal. So as long as you're comfortable and confident in your own power, then that's what you need to focus on. And that, I think, is going to help the collective. There's too much confusion going on, especially with this false spirituality construct now being exposed. People don't know what to do or where to turn. What do I believe? Everything is wrong, and then it's right, and then it's wrong. We need to stop squabbling amongst ourselves, because we squabble so much amongst ourselves on social platforms about you're wrong, I'm right, I've been awake longer, you haven't. At the end of the day, we fight in the same war. The same war. We just need to focus on our individual departments, because every bit helps towards the end goal.
Excellent. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. So I'll go ahead and ask the same question now to Adele. So Adele, you know, what would be your sort of advice to people right now?
I think right now it's important to look at your life, look at what sits right with you in there and what doesn't. If there's any issues that comes up, address them, sort things out with people, you know, go back to who you are, what makes you happy, and where you need to be, and what your goals are in life, so you can start to focus on where you need to be. Because us being concerned about when we can do things and can we do things and questioning all the time and going on someone else's narrative doesn't work. We have to create our own narrative, and your own narrative should be, where do I want to go in the future? Because a lot of people have lost jobs and they lost motivation for their businesses and all sorts of stuff. So we need to recoup our energy to start again and, you know, fight your power again and start your life according to what you want to do. And then as you become stronger, if there's any negativities that come in your home life, in your space, you will be happy because you've sorted things out there. You got rid of what doesn't belong there. If you are in a bad place, you can deal with that. Everything needs to be dealt with now while we have the time, because later on when the pressure comes, if there is pressure that comes, I'm hoping that this would go away, really, in a way, because it would been dealt with already. But if this pressure comes and you have to make choices and stuff, then you'll be stronger. So now is the time to get yourself spiritually fit, healthy. Do your MOT. Look at everything. What do you need to do? Do you meditate? Do you not meditate? Do you not sleep well? What is it? Go into yourself. What is bugging you? What is upsetting you? What is unsettling your energy? What is causing your dis-ease? Because later on it will create more if you don't deal with it now.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then we'll go ahead and Sophie, ask you the same question.
Yeah, I completely agree with Shannon and Adele. It's really the work on yourself now. It's like this is the time. This is the time when you can still do it, because there's only that much time that you've got left to be really ready for a lot of else that has to come on our path. And it's the collective of all of us, of the awake people, that will create the future. And people have all their sort of timelines. They create with their thoughts their own realities, and it's for everybody the best outcome that has to, roll out somehow. That's why it's so important to connect constantly to the people who are on your wavelength.
Yeah.
And sadly, we have to step away from the people who really, really are still very stuck and have this lower frequency, because I do believe, and I think you all as well share this idea or vision, that you are born on a frequency. So it's already written. You have written, on that contract that you're going to be living on that wavelength. And it's people's soul path. They have chosen to go that way, because at the end of the day, it's only yourself who makes the decision how you're going to proceed in this life. And they weren't ready when they came into this life. They already chosen to go that certain path. But definitely 100% agreeing with everybody, the work on yourself, and be really ready, be strong physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, work on yourself, look in the mirror. This is the time to create what makes you happy, not about what you have, but who you are. And do the work within. It starts all within. All the answers you'll find within yourself. You don't need to look everywhere to find answers. Like, we can be of assistance to people, to show them the direction and to bring the best in people, to get the best, help them to see what is their best option. Who are they actually? What do they want in life? What don't they want? So it's up to us, really. Yeah.
It's been great, thank you. And that brings me to my next question, which I think is quite an interesting question. We'll start off with Shannon, but the question is, in all this time, I know I've changed rapidly, and I've really been focused on becoming a better man, a better being, aligned with my essence, not the illusion or the delusion that a ego programmed by our current environment would provide. And through this time, I've been through many challenges, many tests, and it really has done some incredible stuff for me. And that brings me to my question, which is, in this time, let's say from this point now to when all this stuff started last year, it has been quite a bit of a process. But to start off with asking you, Shannon, what lessons did you grow? What power did you step into? What was that realization? And what has it brought you to now in terms of what it is you're directly focusing on in this moment now?
For myself, sorry, you broke up a little bit, but I think I've got the gist of it.
Yeah.
For myself, the power that I stepped into. Sorry?
That's good. Keep going.
Yeah, so sorry, for myself, the power that I stepped into, I think, is my intuition, my connection became stronger. I think I've started breaking down, like I said to you just now with Adele, breaking down that confidence that I couldn't possibly have power. I've now accepted the fact that I do. And it's not like this almighty God power. Of course not. It's personal power. It's like Sophie said, it's what we're born with. You're born on that vibration. You're born with a purpose. And all it is raising yourself into your purpose and fulfilling your purpose. And that is when your power comes. It's made an incredible difference to my readings, to my healing, to understanding. And it's still growing. It's still going. Like I said to you, the healing I've had with both Adele and Sophie is still now opening me up even more. And what the potential is, I don't know, sky high, you know, your potential is as high as you want it to be. But I do think that healing my own insecurities helped. It's helped me see things a little clearer, I think, about the healing process in other people. Sorry, I'm really jittery here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. You do a good job. Keep going. You're doing great. Can hear you. Okay. Seems as though we've lost.
It's distracting.
Right. Okay, sorry. Keep going for it, Shannon.
What was the second part of the question, Jesse? Sorry, I've lost you now. It was a bit distracting. I've lost it. What was the second part of the question?
So how it's changed you and where it's led your current course of direction and action now? Your current focus.
Right. So again, right, this awakening and actions of my own power has led me to choose my path. I was very lost in the beginning. I was torn between activism and spirituality. And at first, I mean, because I've been awake for a very long time and I've always shouted and screamed about it. Look what's coming, and trying to wake people up. I've always been on that path, always. I've also always been on the spiritual path, but my activism voice was always louder. And I was finding that as we were to this point, there was a conflict between my spirituality and my activism, because my activism was loud and angry. And yes, sometimes it has to be, but we want to try and make it more powerful than angry. This is what I've come to realize now. But also I had a choice. Before my reading with Adele, I could have gone either way, was split. So I could have gone fully down the activism route or down the spiritual route. And I chose the spiritual route, but to implement that into my activism. And now I find my mission, when I go to things like protests and when I post on social media, on the activism platforms, I'm finding what I'm trying to do is steer people away from the anger, the frustration, steer people away from focusing on the problem and getting more focused on the solution. Trying to get people to take a more love-based approach rather than a fearful approach, because that to me is so important. There's so much dissension in our groups, like I said before, and this is not on. We have to stop this. And like I said before, trying to just guide people more down the spiritual route and help them to understand that their delivery of truth to people makes such a big difference. Like Sophie said, you've got to understand that some of these people are just not going to wake up, and we have to kind of disassociate ourselves and spend our energy a whole lot more wisely. We need to stop pulling them out and focus more on our solutions, because we're wasting time here. What we can really do is just plant seeds. If they're them up, great, because eventually. But we need to plant seeds and work on our delivery as far as waking people up is concerned. Not shouting, screaming, fear, 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 because then these people are, you're going to die, we're all going to be slaves. And then these people are going, oh my God, I'm going to stay right here where it's comfortable. You know, I'm not moving from this spot because I like my reality right now. I don't want to die or be a slave, you know. So our delivery is very important. And that's the thing, that my own self-healing has helped me to, it's moved me to focusing on the spiritual part, but then to incorporate that into the activism, which I think is very important.
Amazing. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. And then I'm going to go ahead and ask the same question to Adele. So Adele, basically, how has this time and this all this, you know, this process, how did that help you grow? What did that help you step into? And how is it affecting your current choices right now and your current trajectory and your current focus? Take it away.
So, well, when I've done this, I've done spiritual stuff for years, so nothing changed there. I think what I've realized was similar to Shannon, the understanding of what my ability actually is. Because I've always known everyone has got abilities. I believe everyone are born with abilities. I believe everyone can do this. I don't think I'm unique in what I'm doing. I think everyone has got the ability to do it. But what I have learned is that my specific experiences has made me view things in a certain way. So I'm able to understand something in a certain way. So that gave me more confidence and just being accepting of who I am, because for a long time, because I was always viewed as the black sheep or whatever, it almost became a thing. So I sort of just kept to myself very quietly. But now it's like I feel the need to speak out and talk about it and let people know about what I know, whatever for. I think is just to help them, maybe in a hope that there are other people like me that feels lost, that I can maybe help. So it's given me the confidence to talk out, and because I thought there could be loads of people like me that are stuck, and I could be the one that could maybe help them. So I did. I started looking just to see where I could help on a different, more online, where before it was always face to face. I was never really online. And yeah, and then I found you guys. So in a way, it really opened my mind to, maybe to the whole digital world. I look at it in a different way now. At first, I was very against it, and now I can actually see that there is a purpose for it. But I also understand that it has got the dark side. So all these things have changed the way I look at the world. I am more open to understanding that there could be a digital way to connect with people, but that we have to have it in a very different way to what we are having it now. So it's definitely changed my mind, but opened it more towards technology. It didn't before. I can see that there is some sort of purpose in there, but it's also reminded me that we have that technology within us. And if we can create something that we can connect within ourselves, that we can share with, that'll be amazing. So I'd open my mind to that. Where I'm going now with things, my goal now is I don't know, just to help people heal. Help people that feel that they can't understand themselves, they don't understand their abilities, they don't understand who they are. For some reason, I can see. So yeah, I'll just do that.
Excellent, thank you so much. And now going to Sophie. What have you learned in this process, Sophie? What has it taught you? What have you healed? What is the power you've stepped into, and how is that affecting you currently right now?
Well, for me, it's say I've been spiritually aware since I was really, really young, but now this year was on a different level. I finally start to understand better of my ability, power. It may be weird to say, but I finally feel free. I finally feel that I can do what I really want to do, what my mission is. So I've learned to focus my energy now much more in the right direction, not all over the place. I've learned to be balanced more and how to direct energy towards people for healing, for anything, to assist them, to help them on their journey. So for me, it has opened up doors, and I feel the best is yet to come, to be honest. This is just the beginning of standing in true, real power. Like on a scale from 1 to 10, I maybe was like, before all of this, on a 5. And now I'm slowly climbing up to a 7, 8. And it's like still going. So to be honest, I've never been so happy in my life as now. Not because of what I have, because I own nothing right now, but the feeling I have, it's the feeling of like, finally, I can be who I really am. Finally, I can be free and step out of a system slowly that hasn't served me in any way. That has to try to suppress us, indoctrinate us, control us. And now we are part of the mission to bring people the truth on how to step into your power, how to heal yourself, how can I help you? So for me, that was, I think, the biggest thing over this year, to just grow constantly. You know, it's an evolving process of the spiritual awareness and awakening that we're in. It's a spiritual great awakening as well for everybody who can sense what is happening. So I think we're just started, to be honest. So it only can get better. And also, yeah, spreading that positive energy towards others. Yeah, I mean, it's just endlessly. It's like this infinity of positive energy and the power that we can start to learn to use in the right way. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel very good about everything actually, and I can only bring that to others, you know. Yeah.
And how is that affecting your current focus or your trajectory right now? You know,
it only pushes me. Yeah, it's only pushing me to go further, to go beyond everything. You know, there is no boundary anymore on that level. Nothing will block you. Anything is possible. So if you want something, if you have this vision of doing this or creating that, there's no boundary. You just do it. Everything is possible. So, yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Thank you. Okay, so now to finish it off, we're going to give a little final message from each of you, starting with Shannon. And this is something that, you know, after everything we've spoken about, and maybe you might think, okay, well, I wish I had actually also had this to say. But what is your final message for everyone watching this, Shannon?
I think at the basis of it all, people, we've got this. We've got this. We've got it. All we need to do is try and make sure that every choice that we make is going to be love-based, because actually this is the world that we're all intending to move into now. The whole world that's been up to this has been fear-based everything. So if we are not being love-based with our approach, with each other, with our intentions, with our healing, with everything, then what is the point? Because this is the reality that we're trying to create for ourselves. Something better for us, for our planet. It's got to be sustainable, got to be unified. And the only way that we can do that is when we're love-based. We have to understand we're all going to have differences. None of us are going to believe the same things or work in the same way. None of us are going to have the same approach. But that's by design. That's by design. It's intended to be like that because we need these variant pockets of people all doing their own work to be able to catch the same like-minded people in their pocket. So yes, please move it to a love-based. Everything, every action has got to be love-based, and that's going to help us. Or that's my message.
Amazing, thank you. And then now moving to Adele, what is that final thoughts that you would like to share with everyone?
I think, you know what, at this time, have a mind of wonder. Just wonder about everything. Be amazed at what the world's bringing, because we have to remember everything happening now is not just dark and gloom. There's a lot of positivities coming out of that. I think majority is positive. And if we can just remember that and live in a way of thinking about it, everything is marvelous, everything is amazing, everything is fascinating, because we are learning new things. So where everyone's felt saturated with old stuff, and this what we've just been through is old stuff. This is old-fashioned. It's old. It doesn't belong to us anymore. So we need to face to the new. But what's new now? Healing's new. It's new because it's our power. So once we start to understand that the in thing will be our own power and doing things ourselves, healing ourselves, being able to hold ourselves high and to not be able to control our emotions and feel happy with who we are and stuff. When we get to that stage, we will understand what everything was for. But in the meantime, just have a mind of wonder. Just be like a child and just go, wow, amazing. Look at everything in awe and realize that we are safe. We are looked after. We are protected. We've been chosen to be here. We've wanted to be here. and we're all going through this amazing experience together, and we are in the movie. And it's just coming to the point where we understand that we are in this movie, and we create it. We write our own script. We write our own future. So the more we focus on bringing positivity into our space to have a positive future, the world will change by itself from all of us changing ourselves.
Amazing, great, thank you. And then to go ahead and ask now, Sophie, what is that final thought, that final message you'd like to share with everyone?
I would say look at things, even if people are not part of your life anymore, with kindness and compassion, because it's their journey that they walk and you walk yours. So there's definitely a lack of understanding, kindness and compassion, and I do believe people come to realize now that that's a big part of what is playing. Even in the awake communities, there's a lot of, let's say, friction, tension sometimes. And, we can't all be best friends. Everybody has to do whatever they feel right with and the people they feel right with. But from a point of view of kindness, compassion, and, understanding that not everybody will be your best friend along that path, is fine. Just holding your own space, your own energy space, to make sure that you are feeling all right, and then you can help others if you want to assist on other people's life. But I think basically Shannon and Adele have covered everything that we were looking for in our answer and in the answers. But I think that's
Excellent.
it for me.
How do you guys feel about this little talk you've just had? I think it was quite valuable. I think so great to hear, everyone's unique perspective, and they're so similar in so many ways, but so different, based on your own unique experiences, within this great thing we call life. So, hopefully we can definitely do this again. I'm sure we will be able to. But how do you guys feel about that conversation?
Yeah, great. Loved it.
It was good.
Okay,
yeah.
excellent.
Thank you, Josie.
Great. It's nice.
Thanks. That's good.
You look quiet, guys.
Yeah, I'm a little quiet. I'm about to say a little something. So, guys, thank you so much for yet again supporting me on Patreon, and continue to support me and my work and our work on Patreon. As you may have seen, we've got all the Telegram groups that have essentially taken all these different categories for now until this gets implemented into our software. The software is currently development. So I'm just gonna, show you a little bit over here, but it's just now getting that where is it, the mobile UI sorted, and this is really going to be an excellent, awesome application. It's just gonna, you can't really see it that well, but it's just gonna replace everything, and that's the whole point. Is that the chat systems, everything. It's like the most amazing tool. So I'm really happy about this, and I'm really excited for the value that it's going to be able to go ahead and bring towards people, because that's what I want. I think this conversation and our whole experience with Sophie, with Adele, with Shannon, all these other beautiful people that I've met through my Patreon and this journey, to actually have these conversations with people and connect with them all over the world, and be there for each other. It's such a great feeling to know that I actually have people there for me, and not all of them might be so close, but I'm so sure that some very soon we're all going to be, within being able to co-create with the things that as we go forward with these earth centers, these regeneration centers, where we can help heal people. And as Adele said so perfectly, this is the trend. It's the trend of being fully self-sufficient and non-dependent on anyone or anything, so that we can go ahead and actually start designing our reality. And that goes back to this excitement that I feel Sophie's feeling, because You know, she's stepping into the reason as to why does she's even here so much more than ever before. And I think we all are. I mean, I'm most certainly feeling that. And I'm growing so much throughout this process to process all the stuff that no longer serves me. And it's just making me calmer, more relaxed, more trusting, more faithful. And I'm very excited at the prospect of all you guys on Patreon, or for all of us to work together, because right now what's happening is, you know, we're looking into creating these earth centers, you know, as well as housing and so forth and so on, and to create this beautiful paradise where people can come to rest, or to stay, or to live, or to contribute, you know, a new beautiful world that isn't just up in the clouds, but is using that enhanced awareness, that enhanced perspective, in order to get really creative as to how it is we go about solving all of these requirements it is that we have in order to be happy, healthy people, stepping into the truth of ourselves, the truth of our own reality. So, you know, I'm so glad that everyone has come this far, because I'm still in the process of, you know, there's so many testimonials of the amazing stuff that you guys have done here on Patreon. And it ranges from all sorts of things. And I think that's what so heavily excites me, is that there's all these unique, beautiful beings, and they all just have this beautiful interest, this uniqueness, this gift, this essence. No matter what it is, it's value, you know, it is value. And I see that value right there. So I'm doing everything in my ability and my power in order to connect that value together and to see it organically just unfold into this new beautiful world. So, you know, we really are doing everything in our ability on a physical level, on a digital level, on a mental, and spiritual level, in order to, you know, prepare for this. As you guys were saying earlier, this is an intensive preparation stage. And, you know, fortunately enough, you know, we have the tools of the common law in order to declare our independence and use that new freedom, you know, to basically have that freedom to go ahead and get unleashed unlimited potential when it comes to coming together with a beautiful desire to help. Because I know everyone watching this has a desire to make the world a better place. So it's about taking that desire where it's at and working with it, and, you know, reminding you guys watching this that you're powerful, amazing, wonderful people. And you know, I sometimes I have to learn to see that in myself, and I'm continuing to learn that. But I just hope everyone else sees that in themselves. It's so important, and you really owe it to yourself to honor yourself, to respect yourself, to love yourself, to nurture yourself, to be patient and tender with yourself, as you just redirect your focus into a trajectory that is more conducive towards the love and positivity it is that you and peace of mind it is that you truly desire to experience. And you know, I'm very excited. I just hope that everyone watching this can hear all these things and come to all these realizations, just as I've been here sitting to all of you. And I do this, you know, I have individual conversations with each of you. And, you know, it's just shares so much value. And here I am in this better position in my life, thanks to people like yourself and my own personal work and my own personal will to, you know, to step into this better, loving way of living here on earth. And it all comes down to the love. So the more we can learn to stay there, to focus on the love, and no matter how people are being to us, no matter how people treat us, no matter whatever the case may be, you know, it's really our opportunity to transcend our own personality, our own experience, our own being, to the point where we just bring more grace, more love, more acceptance, and a total lack of non-judgment towards all of our encounters, all of our experiences, all the people it is we encounter. Because at the end of the day, you know, we're better off with that lack of we're better off without that resistance that we cause within ourselves. So I think love is the ultimate key, and without getting too complicated into things for people, which I like to do because it gives me more insight, but I like to circle back to the simplicity of it all, in the fact that it is love, it's value, and it's really just comes down to that care and that desire to help others, which all of you guys have and everyone else has. And now to be able to come together with these people around the world that truly have this heartfelt desire, nothing more than that, is really wonderful, because it's a super amazing, sincere energy. And to see the byproducts of that sincere, honest, truthful, and pure energy of just this combined feeling of, you know, I want the best for you, I want the best for everyone. We all do. And it's such a happy thing. It's so awesome. We actually should be so happy about that, to know that people like this exist. And, you know, now it's really our job to connect as much as possible, and to really start bringing these people and these experiences that match us and where we want to go. You know, we have to actively bring that into our space. We have to start taking accountability and responsibility for, you know, the situations in our life, the people in our life, and all of that. And my final message to everyone is that, you know, we are all healing, and you know, just focus on the light. Just go inside. Use this as an opportunity to experience that peace within. That just comes as simple as closing your eyes and taking time to just focus on the beautiful fact that you do exist, and you are here now, and you are so valuable, and your value, your unlimited value, is yet to be discovered. So please don't look down on yourselves, and don't put a box on what it is that you think you're capable of doing, and look towards your purpose. And remember that the biggest clue of finding your purpose is what it is that truly makes you happy. You know, for me, that is helping people. I've realized nothing else can make me happier than being of service to others. And I love all the ways in which I do get to help people with the arts, the technology, all of these things. So, you know, that is a full turnkey solution, is just to focus on what your heart truly wants, what makes you happy, what helps you keep your personality, your behavior in a continual state of love. So thank you guys so much for that conversation. I really enjoyed it. And I'll be chatting to you guys soon. Cheers.
Love you, lads.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.